Hey guys, how y'all doing today? I wanted to go over how another thing on the margins. Just what? Who is? Oh, oh, demon slayer. Oh, bruh. How to build them properly. And it's a pretty complex thing. To be completely fair with you, margins are one of the hardest races in the entire game. Like, it's just not something you can just pick up and just, oh, I can do this because I think I'm better than everybody. So basically, the best build to possibly do on them is a tank build. And for those who don't know what that is, that's basically a player who primarily, excuse me, primarily specializes in putting their stats into tank stats, like their health max, key resistance, key max, melee resistance, like all that jazz, you know. And I wanted to go over the best way you could do this. So doing a damage build on Amazons aren't really good, pretty bad. Because you know you're sacrificing stats for damage that barely helps you at all. So instead of being able to simply enough just take hits, you'd rather deal hits, but then you don't have your good key max. So the best possible build to start out with a monster would be health max and key max, and do that for the first and second prestige. If you do decide to rebirth, you can then proceed to go ahead and do health max, key resistance, and melee resistance. This build is extremely powerful. No matter what way you look at it, it's really good. You can outlast a lot of people. I can outlast most of the 1000s per se. They run on a key before, you know, anything else. A lot of people that I do fight anymore, they run on a key because they spam all this stupid stuff because they're all, oh wow, look how good I am because I can spam super rush or whatever. Instead of simply enough learning how to play the game properly. If you do decide to make a Majin, I do recommend health max and key max, but you will cripple yourself if you decide to do melee or key damage. Now, if you are wondering, should I do health max or resistances? Do health max. Overall health max will help you more, but not in the fact that it has more. It will help you like resist more. But if you do health max, because Majin's first and second prestige or non-prestige and first prestige forms do have a secret defense buff, allowing them to dish out more damage and take more hits. But unstable does not. If you do health max and key max, you will decide this will help complement the high resistance stats that Metal Majin has and Dark Majin has. These two are extremely powerful, and this will really complement it because you will be able to take so much more hits. You'll basically become unkillable if you are the right person. If you aren't too skilled at this game, I do recommend doing this kind of builds with the monsters. It will help you greatly, and it really will make you such a challenge that not everyone will be able to take you down. Now, most people get pretty cocky and they don't want to listen to this kind of stuff, so they're all like, oh no, damage builds are the way to go. Don't do damage builds on a monster. You just make a Jiren or make a droid. Okay, it's just stupidity if you decide to do damage builds. I think they buffed it. Now, full regen's another good thing to think about. Now you're like, okay, well can't I just use full regen to get back the key I lose when I spam like an idiot and decide not to do, you know, key max? Well, yes, of course you could, but wouldn't it be better to, you know, get lower, like have a higher key max, get super low for some reason, and then proceed to go ahead and use full regen? Then you can get back a good portion of your key, and then you can just take on the fight. Wouldn't be that hard. Now, the first three forms of Majins have are pretty straightforward. Low power hardly gives you anything. Now, the third form ain't bad because it's got a really good key max. So, you'll be able to outlast most players at that point. Even Namekians, really. Now, this race is not for beginners in the slightest. It's an extremely hard race to play. Most people have a very hard time playing them because they don't know what they're doing. Just because they're new to the game. If you decide to do a damage build on a Majin, you will suffer greatly. You will hinder the character and you will ruin it, wasting a lot of your time and a lot of, well, whoever decided to help you's time. Because then you should probably try to realize it's not a very good build. Now, you're probably wondering when the heck should I do the resistances? When you rebirth, you should do the resistances. If you're not Prestige 2, and you decide to stick with Dark Majin, this is not a bad idea. Now, for Unstable, this is an extremely good idea, because you will become extremely hard to hit just because of the sheer factor that you are harder to see because of your sheer vanishing. If you decide to stick with Metal Majin, which is still not a bad idea, you will become even more unkillable, but you'll have low damage. So, you may regret doing that. So I do recommend you buy Unstable, just because of the hit priority you have on Unstable. If you'd like to hear more about Unstable, go ahead, go over to the one video where I did how to counter Majins. You can hear about that. Or you can just go to the wiki, that works too. With the recent nerfs on Majins, by the way, the nerf was that the healing on full regen is no longer, full regen. It doesn't fully heal you. It heals back 80% of your health, which, still, not bad. Pretty good. The, so, when you do the health, melee and key resistance for when you rebirth, it's pretty good. If you decide to not do that, you can always do health max and key max still. And then you can also do damage. Now that's when you do the damage build. Now, I'm not saying go full into damage, but I recommend you make sure all 4 or 3 stats are even. Non-even stats can really, make it harder for you to do most things because you're prioritizing one thing instead of prioritizing all of those things. So if you do an even build, that'll help, just give you more balance and make it more, a lot easier. There's not much else to really say about it. It's just my recommendation. If you don't like this recommendation, then you can just, not listen to me. I don't really give a shit. It's really your character, not mine last time I checked. You want to ruin it? Go ahead and ruin it. The best possible build is the tank build in the Majin, and if you'd like to disagree, you can. Go right ahead, but if you'd like to say otherwise, go ahead. If you, if you found this actually helpful, then go ahead and, good for you. But if you found this not helpful for some reason, go ahead and dislike, and then decide to call me gay or something in the comments. Leave an angry comment telling me that I'm wrong. Because I love hearing those. Those are the best. Because, everyone knows something better than I do. And everything I know is better than what you know. Ooh, oh, pranked, ganked. You just got ganked and pranked. No, I'm kidding. I don't really care, to be honest. But I'm just saying that it's really not worth, doing a damage build. This is not a character for that. If you're gonna do a damage build and be toxic, make a Jaren. Don't waste your time with Majin. If you want to outlast people, make a Majin. You will be able to outlast most level 1000s, and people will have a very, very, very hard time taking you down just because of the sheer fact that you're a tank. Trying to think of what else there is to say. It's not much. I mean, this is an extremely good PvP build. You will have a lot of key at your own disposal. You'll be able to combo people all that easier. People will have a harder time actually killing you. So overall, this is a very hard thing to take down, especially for your opponent. Now, I did go over how to counter a Majin, but now I'm going over how to build them. Unstable has a lot of key drain. If you don't manage your key very well, you will have a hard time. Key management is an extremely big thing for Majins, and if you don't do it right, you will mess up. As you can see, this does have Vanish. Drains a lot of key if you're not careful. Now, if you, of course, are spamming like a dumb idiot and run out of key, that's your own fault. I don't know what to tell you. But, if you're smart about this and decide not to drain all your key like a dumbass, you should be just fine. But hey, easy come, easy go. The key max on Unstable is not bad. It's pretty good. People like to shit on it all the time, but that's just because they don't know how to use the Majin. But there's really not much else to say about it. If you did find the video helpful, good for you. If you want to build a Majin and you need some extra tips, go ahead and ask away in the comment section. If you found this video not helpful and you thought it was stupid and retarded, leave a dislike. Alright, well, bye.